And welcome to Chemistry 111 for the spring 2024 semester. My name is Jessica Stanfield, and I'm going to be your instructor this semester. Please note that my name is actually Stanfield, not Woods. I got married almost 6 years ago, and I'm still working with the district to get my name updated. I'm very hopeful that that will finally be taken care of this semester. I've been teaching for San Diego City College since the spring semester of 2016, and I have been teaching at the community college level since the fall of 2013 when I got hired at Grossmont College. I'm an adjunct, so I do teach across multiple campuses every single semester. My two primary campuses are San Diego City College and Grossmont College, but I have also taught for National University and San Diego State University. Um, the large university lectures are not my favorite. I prefer to teach and get to know my students, so I love the community college world a whole lot more than the large university world. I don't really like lecturing at 300 to 500 people at a time. I would much rather teach a smaller class and get to know my students. Though teaching in this online forum, I don't necessarily get to know all of you as well as I would necessarily like. So we do use things like discussion boards and other things like that so that I get to know you a little bit better. A little bit about me. Obviously, I love chemistry because I'm a chemistry professor. I actually have always wanted to teach for as far back as I can remember. I remember my freshman year of high school. We had to write letters to ourselves that they gave us when we graduated high school. And in my letter, part of what we had to address was where we would be as we were graduating high school. And my letter, I talked about, hey, I would be starting San Diego State in the fall of 1999, and I was going to be a teacher. Now, at the time, I thought I wanted to teach elementary school. It finally took chemistry when I was in college, and I fell in love with it. And so I ended up changing my major, which is totally fine. It's really not an unusual thing to start off thinking you're going to do one thing, and then you get into college and you start taking all these really cool classes that like expose you to new things. And you decide, you know what? That's what I want to do with my life. But I never gave up on the idea of teaching. So instead, I teach chemistry at the college level, which is also a lot of fun. When I teach labs, we can do so much more that's super cool at the college level than we can at the high school level or anything like that. Like the list of allowed chemicals is way longer at the high school level. I used to be a lab tech at a high school, so I was really well versed in what high school students were allowed to do. So I'm also a giant nerd. Can't really tell, but underneath my jacket, I have a Star Trek original series tiki shirt on. I'm also really big into Star Wars, other sci-fi stuff, fantasy. I've always been more fantasy or sci-fi than fantasy. My husband really loves a lot of fantasy, so he's gotten me to do some more fantasy lately. Like I've started reading the Wheel of Time books, and those are absolutely fantastic. So thoroughly enjoying that. But we're just a bunch of giant nerds in my household. We watch sci-fi, we play video games. We have a lightsaber collection. We have a tiki mug collection. So we're kind of nerdy around here. I also have a 3.5-year-old daughter. She was born in June of 2020, right when everything was all super crazy with COVID. So that was an experience and a half. So I also have two dogs. So as I record things, I do try to record either at night when my kid's asleep, if she falls asleep, or sometimes I'll record during the day if it's a day when I don't have to be on campus. But I can't really control for crazy things like my psychotic dog's barking, or I can't always record when my kid's asleep. So sometimes I have to trust that, she's entertained out in the living room or in her bedroom or something with my husband. So just a word of warning, I can't guarantee that you will never hear my mic pick up my dogs or my kid or something sometimes. So I do try to record when we're not going to be interrupted, but it does happen sometimes. So just know that, I do live with, the chaos of a family at my house too. So that is a thing. We also soccer fans in my household. So you can see behind me, this is my home office. So I've got my periodic table, and then there's some other various things that show up, like my daughter taped a Star Wars scene. She's kind of taken over that part of the closet door to be her art canvas. I have San Diego Wave posters back there. So we're actually season ticket holders to the Wave, so we'll be at all the games. If you're a soccer fan and you happen to be at a San Diego Wave game or somewhere else and you see me, feel free to come over and introduce yourself, because again, online, I don't necessarily get to know all of you. And unlike Chem 100, where a significant number of my online lecture students end up in my in-person lab, I don't have an in-person lab with this class to meet most of you. So if you do see me around and you recognize me from my crazy videos, if I'm out around town, I probably don't have my glasses on because those are for computer work and everything. But if you do see me around, I would love for you to come up and introduce yourself so that I can, meet you in person. So for this intro stuff, we do have to go over like the super exciting information contained in the syllabus. So I will try not to go too in depth into it because I trust you can read it. And then we do have a syllabus quiz that you do have to take this week. Just so that I know that you're familiar with the course policy. So that way, halfway through the semester, I don't get a bunch of, well, I had no idea this was a thing emails, because it's in the syllabus. So let's go ahead and look at our exciting syllabus. Now I have a dual screen setup. My camera is on the screen. I do a lot of stuff on this screen. So when you see me like in the bottom corner, while I have my screen shared, you'll see kind of the side of my face. Let's go ahead and take a look at ye old syllabus. All right, so Chemistry 111, Chemistry and Society, again, Stanfield, district still have me as Woods. I do have a physical office on campus in S211L. So you can find me there on Mondays from 1 to 3 p.m. If you need to meet with me, but you can't come to campus, just shoot me an email during my office hours and I'll reply with a Zoom link. I used to try to leave Zoom on during my office hour, but if nobody was in there, then it just shut itself down after a certain period of time and I had to restart it anyway. And so I just kind of have a policy that if you need Zoom, shoot me an email and I'll throw Zoom on for you rather than just having it sit in timeout. Our lecture is asynchronous on Canvas. There's no Zoom meetings required for lecture. So we are going to use the American Chemical Society. So ACS stands for American Chemical Society. Chemistry in Context, Applying Chemistry to Society text. And then you'll want a non-programmable scientific calculator. So we're going to look at chemistry as it relates to the real world. And we're going to talk about scientific thinking and how that comes together. So we're going to look at how chemistry affects our environment, how chemistry affects our eating, how chemistry affects our cell phones, all sorts of different things. So we're going to look at it in a very contextual manner. We might have a little bit of touch on math, but it's not going to be the focus of our semester. It's going to be very topical. I have some hopefully interesting things planned for you this semester. So our learning outcomes are pretty straightforward here. So you can look through those. Unfortunately, I do have to touch on academic dishonesty. Okay, so you are expected to do your own work. Okay, I really hate having to harp on the academic dishonesty stuff, but it's really imperative that you understand that you must do your own work. So we do have tests in our test proctoring center, which I'll explain in a few minutes. So when you go there, you can't bring in unauthorized materials. You can't copy from someone else. You can't store things in a device and sneak that in. You can't look stuff up on your cell phone in the middle of an exam. You can't submit false reports for, work that was not actually done. You can't pretend that you had a correct answer on an exam after it's already been graded. Chegg, Course Hero, etc. Also strictly forbidden. There's a lot of wrong answers on Chegg. I can usually tell when somebody's copied lab reports or homework off Chegg. Paying someone else to do your homework, any use of AI such as ChatGPT, the Bing AI, etc. is strictly forbidden. All your work must be done by you, not a computer. If you are caught doing any of this stuff, you will receive a 0 on the assignment, and depending, I may have to escalate it to academic affairs and go through that whole rigmarole, which is always a very, very unpleasant endeavor for everybody involved. So do us all a favor. Don't cheat. Don't use AI. Do your own work. Seriously, you're honestly, at the end, you're the only person that you're harming when you cheat, because when you come out of this course, if this is on a transcript and you are trying to get a job or you are trying to transfer and you cheated your way through, eventually that gap in knowledge is going to come out. I had a friend in high school who, when we got to college, she just kind of burned out. And she used to engage in all sorts of ridiculous, asinine things to try to cheat her way through classes. She would like try to pass out in the middle of exams and just super crazy stuff, to the point that when she eventually tried to get a job using her degree, they gave her content knowledge tests, which I've had to do those. Anytime I've applied for a teaching job, I have to take a test to prove that I actually know what I'm doing. She couldn't get a job in her field because she failed all of the content knowledge tests because she screwed her way through her classes. And so all the time and money she spent getting her degree came out to be basically nothing because she never learned anything. So don't do that to yourself. Do your own work. If you are stuck, if you don't understand something, if you're struggling, reach out for help. I'm here to teach you. Let me teach you. Let's see here. You need to adhere to the student code of conduct. If you have academic accommodations through our disability services, let me know ASAP. I have a spreadsheet that I keep every semester for each of my classes with my students that have accommodations and the accommodations that they receive. So I need to know ASAP so I can get you on my spreadsheet so that I can make sure that you do receive your accommodations. Canvas, obviously we use Canvas exclusively in the course because it's an online course. So everything will be through Canvas. You need to be logging onto Canvas on a regular basis. I didn't know you posted that. I didn't get an email, etc. These are not acceptable excuses. I expect that you log in on a regular basis. You can't go a few weeks without logging in. We'll have one module for each week of the course. So again, your responsibility to make sure that you are keeping up with the course. Again, asynchronous, everything will be either written or pre-recorded for you to look at. You can see everything laid out on Canvas, and then we do have a schedule, which I'll show you in a minute, so you can track where we're supposed to be at any given point in time. One thing to keep in mind, college does require a lot of independent study and learning. This is not like high school where you show up, for your class each day, you do some stuff in class, and then you go home, and that's that. You do have to study outside of class. Your motivation needs to be an intrinsic motivation, and it has to come from within. You can't rely on everybody else to force you along. You have to find that motivation inside of you in order to be successful in college. And that could be a hard thing to figure out. So if you're struggling with that, if you're struggling to try to figure out how do you manage your time, how do you find it inside you to be motivated, reach out to me. Okay. We were all, every single one of your professors was a student at one point in time too. And so, we can provide some insight and try to help you along with that a little bit. So these study skills and that ability to self-motivate, critical success at this level. We'll have a few different assignments. We'll have some homework problem sets that will be related to the different chapters. They will be given the week before each exam and designed to help you prepare for the chapter-based portions of the exam. We're going to have 2 3 to 5 page term papers scheduled this semester. I have them broken down into multiple submissions. So for each paper, you'll have one submission where you will submit your proposal for what you want to write on. 2 weeks later, you'll provide me with an outline of the paper that you plan on writing, along with the references that you have already started to look up. And then 2 weeks after that, you will submit the final paper to me. And I have this design that way, if you are struggling with the writing process, I can help you along that way. If you do a good job with the outline or you struggle with the outline, that's a good place to reach out and ask me to help you with that sort of thing. I may have a degree in chemistry, but I have done a ton of writing. So I can definitely help you figure out that if you are struggling with that. So our first term paper is due in week 8 before spring break starts, and the second paper will be due in week 14, 2 weeks before the end of the semester. Because these take me longer to grade because they are lengthier, I cannot accept any late papers unless it is like an absolutely crazy, psychotic, extenuating circumstance that, like, I don't know, you get in a car accident and something happened, whatever. So no late papers unless, I mean, I do understand that life happens, but you will have plenty of time to work on these. This is not something that you can do Sunday night at 11 p.m. and turn in by 11:59 p.m. Okay. We're also going to have some article responses. Again, chemistry and society. We're supposed to be connecting chemistry to the real world. So I have a series of articles selected, most of them coming from Chemistry and Engineering News, which is a publication of the American Chemical Society, where you will read through the article and you'll write like a half to 1 page response on it. Again, your words, your thoughts. I don't care what a computer thinks. I care what you think. Okay. I want you to learn something from this course. Online course, we'll have discussion boards. Original posts will be due on Fridays, and then you'll have to respond to your classmates by Sunday. I'm going to try to keep them interesting. I have some actual hands-on activities that I'm going to have you do for some of the discussion boards. 1 week, when we start talking about, what is it? Let me see, where do we have brewing and chewing? Our week 10, or our week 11, chapter 10 is brewing and chewing. And so I have a fun activity adapted from a suggestion in the textbook where you'll get some chocolate and you'll taste chocolate in a couple different ways. And you'll post about, your responses to that, which that's always a fun activity to do. So, so I'm going to try to keep our discussion boards a little bit more interactive than just straight off, because I'm already having you do article responses and stuff. All right, we're going to have 3 exams in this department. This is a departmental requirement. This is not my requirement. This comes from the department. You do have to take your exams in the test proctoring center. They are open typically Tuesday through Saturday, as long as the campus isn't closed for a holiday. You do have to make your appointments no fewer than 5 days before the date you want to take your exam. So the week before we have an exam, you will have an assignment to submit to me telling me the day and time that you made your testing appointment to help you remember to make that testing appointment so that you don't end up screwed the week of the exam with no testing appointment and no ability to take the exam. Okay. Hey, I will allow you to use a periodic table and one-sided page of notes on each exam. And so the exams, we're going to have week 6, week 11, week 16. So the first exam, chapters 1 through 4. And then obviously any of the material we work on. So the articles that I have you read, some of the stuff from those could show up on the exams as well, because they will be contextual within what we are talking about in chapters 1 through 4. Okay. We don't have a cumulative final exam. So notice week 16, the week that we would normally have a cumulative final, I just have our third exam, chapters 10 through 13. See, there's no cumulative final in this course. I do everything on a weighted average. So your discussions are 10% of your grade, your articles are 15%, the problem sets are 10%, term papers are 20%, the exams are 40%. And then the syllabus quiz and then a practice assignment that I have for you this week will be 5% of your grade, just to get you accustomed to the way I need you to submit things on Canvas for me. Okay. And then here's the breakdown. Keep in mind, even though we're not physically in a classroom together, our classroom is our Canvas shell. So you still are expected to treat this as a classroom and be respectful. Please, please, please remember, nobody behind the computer screen in this course is anonymous. We are all real, live human beings behind this computer screen, even me, okay? I am not a robot. I am a real person. Please keep this in mind as you are interacting with your classmates on discussion boards, as you are emailing, etc. We are all human beings here, and we all deserve to be treated with respect, and we all should be treating each other with respect, okay? I typically respond to emails sent on regular school days within 24 hours. If you send something on a Friday or over the weekend, most likely I won't get to it until Monday. I don't usually check email after about 5 p.m. or so. I try to keep work hours for work hours and family hours for family hours. So I do try to, keep that work-life balance there. And then spring break, I will be mostly unavailable that week. I won't be completely unavailable, but mostly unavailable. So if you email me, no guarantee how long it'll take me to get back to you. Spring break's actually my wedding anniversary. So I'm a teacher. We can't take vacations whenever we want. So my husband and I got married at the start of spring break. So that way we could take a honeymoon. And so some of spring break is usually spent celebrating anniversary with my husband. Okay. So that's our syllabus. Again, read it. There's a syllabus quiz. I do expect you to be responsible for the information there. All right, schedule. Here's what our schedule looks like. So this week, again, I've made it super easy to ease into the course. There's our intro, syllabus stuff. We have our first discussion, which is just introducing each other. There's a practice assignment so you get accustomed to Canvas, and then there's a syllabus quiz. That's it this week. Next week is when we will get into the meat of the course. So for the different chapters, I may have some stuff for you to read. There's pages in your textbook corresponding with each chapter for you to read. There will be some lectures that I will record that you will watch and take notes on. And then there's also some supplemental videos that I have found that we put together for that whole thing. Next week, you will have the second discussion and you'll have your first article that I will have you read and write a response on. And so here is our schedule. This is posted on Canvas. You don't have to memorize it from this video. All right, so that's our syllabus and our schedule. And then let me make sure, yep, 111, I have the right Canvas shell. I have 4 preps. I have 3 classes I'm teaching at City College, Chem 100, Chem 100 Lab, and Chem 111. And then over at Grossmont College, I am teaching a lecture lab combination where I have a first semester general chemistry class that I have 3 hours of lecture and 6 hours of lab with each week. So I do have multiple different courses that I'm keeping track of this semester. All right, so here's the beginning of our Canvas shell. The main page that you'll be accessing is modules. That's where I will have everything laid out. So I have everything laid out week by week. So this week is our intro work. I haven't turned this on yet because this welcome is what you should have opened up and found this video in, and I haven't finished recording the video, so that's still, waiting. So once I get the video processed and uploaded, then I will finish putting all this available and I will publish the course. And so you'll see there, and then as we go through the course, I'll turn each module on. I'll probably try to keep maybe 1 week in advance open as we go through. But to begin with, I don't want to start overwhelming with too much stuff. So I am sticking to this first week for right now. So you'll see the syllabus document and then the syllabus quiz, which I need to turn on, the submission practice assignment. So this is just meant to get you used to the way you need to submit on Canvas. I grade on my iPad most of the time so that I can use my Apple Pencil and mark everything up. And so there's a limited number of file types, which the Canvas app will open. And then I have to have everything submitted vertically. I don't have on the Canvas app the ability to rotate documents. And so this submission practice assignment is designed for you to practice submissions. They need to be legible and oriented in the correct way. If it's sideways, I can't grade it. So if you do turn something in sideways, so I'll be looking at this throughout the week. As you turn stuff in, if it looks good, you'll get credit for it. Good to go. If it is oriented incorrectly, I will comment and ask you to resubmit it until the kinks get worked out. So you can submit this assignment an unlimited number of times until we get it worked out how that you know how to submit things correctly. And then going forward, I will expect that you will be able to check your submissions and make sure that they are correct, because if they are oriented incorrectly, I won't be able to grade them and I can't give you credit for them. So this assignment is designed to give you a chance to work all those kinks out so that everything is smooth sailing going forward for the semester. So what works on the iPad Canvas app is JPEG, Doc, DocX, and PDF. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, and then we'll have our first discussion. Again, this one is just, hey, introduce yourself. Not a big deal. I also ask you to change your default Canvas profile picture to something. I don't care if it's you. I don't care if it's a random drawing. One semester, a student made their profile picture a picture of a cat. Just put something that's identifiable so that when I see something crop up, I see a little icon, picture, etc., that's identifiable as you. Okay. If you go to the syllabus page right here, you will be able to see the waiting for the course, and you'll be able to see the syllabus document. And if you scroll down, schedule document, and you can download these for your own use. And then as I publish things, this will get populated in there as well. Okay, so that is the general layout and orientation of our course and our super exciting syllabus. I know it's the most exciting part of the entire semester, the syllabus, but I have to go over it all to make sure that, we're all starting off the semester on the same page. So I do look forward to working with all of you this semester. Please don't hesitate to reach out. I don't mind if you send me an email or if you use the message feature on Canvas. If you use the Pronto feature, I don't have Pronto installed on any of my mobile devices. So I only see Pronto when I'm actually at my computer or I have my laptop up. So if you use Pronto, it's not going to work like instant messaging. I'm not going to get back to you immediately because I don't have it enabled on my mobile devices, because again, I do need to have some separation between, hey, I'm working, and hey, I'm not working. So I don't mind if you use the Pronto feature, just don't expect any different quickness in response if you use Pronto versus email or Canvas messaging. So just an FYI on that. I do have some students that will use the global Pronto and ask a question across the whole class to see if another student knows it. And I do monitor that. So if you ask a global question that you think that multiple students might have, I do see those and I do respond. So I do try to keep on top of all of the different ways of communication. I started college in 1999, so our way of communicating with our professors was showing up to office hours. So you guys have a lot more breadth of ways of getting a hold of me than we did of our professors. Sometimes it was a matter of chasing people down and finding notes on doors, and it was very entertaining trying to get a hold of people sometimes back when I started college. So yeah, so anyway, that's our course, and that's a little bit about me. I really hope that you come out of this course this semester having learned something interesting. I know this course is not for STEM majors, so I'm really hopeful that everybody taking this course actually is interested in the stuff that we have to talk about this semester, and that you come away from here having learned something cool, because there's a lot of cool stuff to learn. That's one of the fun things about being a teacher, is I get to share things that are cool with my students. So anyway, that is our course, and I look forward to getting into it with you.